Join us this weekend, October 26th to the 27th, for the major Crystal Skull online event with the most famous crystal skulls in the world. We have fantastic speakers coming to this event. Bill Holman, the owner of the Mitchell Hedges skull, and Elizabeth Starr, has beautiful Tibetan skulls. Starr Fuentes, Cindy Smith, Jody Sirota, and Jadeite Michelle Faucon. I'll be hosting Stephanie Lodge Shavante with another beautiful skull, Kirby Saeed, Peter Sterling, Sherry Winfield, and Michelle Anderson. These are some of the skulls coming up, and you have to be watching these to get the transmissions coming from this skull. It is really an event not to be missed. Hope to see you there. Get tickets at crystalskullsconference.com. Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and this program is about the exploration of consciousness and some of the tools that are coming on the planet, that have been here, that are helping us ascend, gain greater wisdom and understanding about our place in the universe. And that's why I'm talking today to one of my favorite experts in the field about consciousness expansion, Starr Fuentes. And because this interview is about the Crystal Skull event that's coming up on October 26th and 7th, Starr Fuentes has a Crystal Skull Academy, and she's going to give us a really good understanding of why crystal skulls are so important. Starr, thank you for being here.
Why do I like skulls? Because under the skin, we are all the same. And when I came to working with the universal spiritual laws, in 1971, I got my first skull. I played with it, put it on a shelf, put it on an altar. Then something happened a few years later, and I started working with a human model of the skull. So what I have done is taken all 12 plates of the skull and taught you what each place does below itself and what comes into that particular piece. Every tooth is related to a part of your body, and every tooth you can work on at the skull for the liver, the heart, the pancreas. All teeth matter. Does your skull have too many teeth? Do you even know how many teeth a human has? So I want to show some skulls because I know people love skulls.
Yes.
This is Lodolite, and inside its head is a scenery. I don't know if the camera is getting it. And the scenery is different on the back. It is a Leonardo skull, and it is thin. I am learning to work with the flatter skulls. Most of the rules stay the same, but there are a few new things. So skulls can be with you and work on you, but that's kind of like a AAA battery. When you become acquainted, when I call it Mobius, it circles around you, the skulls and the matter. And of course, each color has a different meaning around the skull.
But how do skulls help you? How did they actually help your knowledge, your understanding of consciousness? What did they do for you?
Ellen, I'm not crazy. They talk to me. The skulls talk to me. They tell me things. I can go into channel state for the skulls. But most importantly for me, this last 10 years have been devoted to find many different ways to work with your skull. essential oils, and how surprisingly the skulls use want salt when my energies drop. So they work together. They can work with the skull 1,000 miles away. For me, my life has become more graceful. My body has become more healthy, and my crazy intuition is pretty much right on tap with the skulls. Somehow, when I hold a skull, Starr, the ego and the personality go away. We are all the same. You are holding the skulls of everybody who died on this planet. When you touch a skull, they talk to each other. And I've got documentation from 10 years about which skull likes which skull salt.
Let me understand. I mean, of course, I love skulls. I didn't like it at first. I thought, wow, they're creepy and all that. But, when I held a skull up to my forehead, I got a communication too. So I said, wow, there really is something here. So I think you're saying, and what I understand, they're tools. They are tools to help us transcend the human ego personality.
It's through the power of the skull. When a skull is not cleansed and connected to somebody, it's pretty inert. So it is a tool. It needs a humanoid. You just can't put them in a room and say, give me a miracle. You need to interact with them. So I found dozens of with the angels too. I tested them with and then a different stone of the pendulum, and then a different stone. And I wrote all the results down. And then later on, through my intuition and eliminating, adding back, I managed to get a focus on 12 different things to do with your skull and different skulls that would, types of skulls, like minerals.
Right.
That would take it.
Well, you're going to be one of the key presenters in this upcoming Crystal Skull Conference. Give us a few of the, don't give the whole store away, but give us a few of the key things you can do with one of the 12. Yes, go ahead. Talk about that.
Okay. Stick out your thumb. Thumb is flexibility. Every time you touch a plate on the skull, you are looking for flexibility. Pointing, direction. When you're looking for a direction, you will touch the skull plate, the one after you've learned them, what plate, and I have a whole list of things, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes astrally, that are connected to this plate. I think there's 200 pages on the plates. Yeah, my secretary said there's 200 pages on the plate. So the next finger, and against rebellion. So forget my children are rebellion, but you know who is the biggest rebel? Me. My own personal core issues and my rebellion. If you are astute enough, aware enough to understand that your core issues, or whatever word you use for those, they show up. And then we got the ring finger. The ring finger is commitment. So do I want to commit to this path? And then you'll find the skull plate, which you will have a nice big chart. You'll find the skull plate, and it will tell you what that does for you. I think that most of the skull work has been very deep, very profound, but then we have the pinky. The pinky is about details. Do I have everything done what do I need to do to have more cash? So using these 5 fingers and 12 skull bones, and there's more in the front than usually on the skull.
Because I've never heard this before. So where you touch the skull with what finger can give you different types of information. If that's what you're saying.
And feelings.
And
Every information. That one gives God bumps, the other one I get scary bumps, another one my stomach sinks. Especially if you talk to your skull, work with your skull every day. There's something human has to be with it, or they don't think we're connecting to them.
Oh, okay. That is valuable. I have not heard that, and I think you have. That's a good teaching. That's a good teaching.
The other thing is skulls and the astral plane. How much easier would you have a skull to access the Akashic records? Why? Well, I guess because their body's up there already or something, but I used to teach Akashic record classes since I got the skulls active about 10 years ago. It's touching the right plate on the appropriate skull. And we'll talk about that. And I also will show a poster of all the topics that I have, just in case somebody is really interested in the flower remedies or the archetype. I try to give at least 180-degree perspective and pairing things with my skulls.
Yes, you are a wealth of information. You've been at it for so many years as a shaman, curandera, healer, intuitive, psychic, teacher, world planetary, conscious leader. So you have so much information, and I'm so happy you're going to be joining us and sharing your wisdom.
I am 85 years old. I taught my first metaphysical class in 1958.
Wow.
Right now we have documented 440 classes and 23 books that I have written. And the other thing I do is people ask me to tell them about their skull. So the first thing I do is teach them the 12 skull plates, and then we begin to work. This is the God fork. This tuning fork is the best for working on crystal skulls. I have gone through 100 tuning forks. And I may or may not, if I have time, talk about tuning forks. But I am surprised that people don't know about their own skull.
Yeah.
That they don't know how many pieces it has. They don't know how thick or thin, where's the brain mass, whatever. But when you get it deep inside that skull, you can start checking your own brain. Of the tuning forks. Now here is the chart for the Vogel crystals. Wonderful opportunity to be with you at the Crystal Skull Convention. You will put the link at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, for your dedication to love and consciousness. Thank you, Starr Fuentes, for everything you've done. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you.